It looks brighter in there.
Yeah, it does. I don't think it looks too bad.
I think it actually looks better, to
It
be
takes
honest.
us back to our first days.
Yeah.
We used to be all dark in here.
I remember that.
And it was kind of a really cool vibe look at first. People were like, whoa. And Joe came in and said, your lighting sucks.
Oh, he did?
Well, it did. It did. And we're back to it today. It's actually not too bad, though. Megan actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think it looks
Well,
too
Megan
bad.
always looks, or Megan, her name is
Megan,
Megan,
sorry,
not
my bad.
Megan.
It's all right.
Megan
Let's
always
do
looks
it.
good. Good morning, Ben.
Okay.
Todd Press, good morning.
Oh, here we are. Okay. Now I can see people.
Yeah, lots coming up today, guys. I know just a couple people are on there. We'll get into it all. So this is the show before the show. We're still kind of talking. I was wanting to continue so if you take cybersecurity and phones,
Yeah.
so if you find out that somebody is tracking you or done a mirror app or something, can you find out the device, whose device is doing it to you? Does it?
It depends. I mean, a lot of times you can't. That's the problem. I mean,
But
because,
you can eliminate.
You can change, people.
But can you stop it?
Yeah, I mean, you might have to, you might have to completely wipe your phone,
I don't even know what that means. I don't like the sound of it.
Yeah, well,
Like,
it's not good. I mean, if somebody is mirroring your phone or is tracking you. Now, tracking, I think that you can find out where it's coming from.
Really?
And you can end that. Yeah, I just don't know about the mirroring. You know what's really, really scary?
I'm
Mike,
convinced somebody's in my phone or has been in my phone.
Mike, thank you.
Oh, Ben, that's
for
what
being here.
I wondered if Alliance Tech could do that. I know it sounds crazy, and I'm not trying to create unnecessary drama, but my battery drains down. There's some things.
Well, how many emails?
There's
Do you
some
have a lot of
things that make
emails?
tons of emails.
Okay, you gotta get rid of emails. You've got to get rid of any like unread or unwanted texts. Like you got to get all that stuff out. Do you have a lot of windows open too?
No, I try to delete them.
Okay, that's
To save my-
all your tabs.
Yeah, I'm not. The
Okay.
battery, whatever. It's an older phone.
Yeah, that could be it too.
But what's concerning me, there's just some things.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been told that for a while that somebody probably had access to my phone.
Well, if it's Apple, they are guilty for in the past. Phones that are outdated or whatever, they somehow throttle
Yeah.
them or whatever and
Yeah.
make the battery not last as long.
Well, yeah, I did know about that. I'm trying to focus on the if anybody's ever felt like, hey, what should we do here?
Well, let me tell you something. This is really scary, but this is with a girl that I'm working with right now. It's happened even like on her, good morning, Robert. Thank you. Even like on her burner phones. So there's an individual that when he gets near her or by her, he can gain access just by what? Out? Okay. He can gain access to her phone. It's almost like a magnet.
How?
Because he's got something on his phone where he it's like the only best way I can explain it is like magnet her phone. So like he can actually get into her phone, and it is absolutely crazy how it happens, because like she'll be, I mean, because she's aware of it. So she'll go and she'll just go to Dollar General and buy another burner phone just to see. And sure enough, when she gets around him, it will do that. So it's really scary.
How would he have gotten her phone in the first place then?
What?
How would he have gotten
all he has to do, he's got something in his phone where if he's next to anyone's phone, anyone, doesn't matter.
So if somebody got, technically, let's just say if somebody got into my phone or near my phone,
yeah,
they could put something onto my phone.
Yes. Anybody. I could. If I knew what I was doing and I was tech savvy like that, I could have something in my phone where if I'm sitting next to you or Joe, I could gain access and see everything.
If you think of it this way,
on.
it kind of uses the same like technology as AirDrop, except it's intrusive.
Exactly.
And
that's
except
why
it's intrusive.
You guys, that's why I keep this. Everybody laughs at me, but I keep this thing in my.
No, I'm fascinated on this topic because I am convinced.
I keep this in.
What is that? Can you hold it up to the camera?
Yeah. You see it?
What? Yeah.
So
what is
it's
that?
a card.
And turn it back around, please.
RFID.
Perfect.
So this prevents people from getting access, walking by me, and getting access to my credit cards. So
how?
It's a blocking card. Here, you can hear it.
But how does
easier
it work?
if you see it like that.
No, I see it. But
so there's if you look, there's something in here.
It's an RFID chip,
exactly.
apparently.
Wait, what do you mean getting access to your cards? Like
Well,
physically picking them out?
No, walking by. That's what I'm talking about. Walking by.
People can get access to your credit cards this way too.
Okay, Mike, I turned off all of my share settings. I turned off my Find My iPhone. Mandy says she uses your cards too.
Yeah. So if you are like me and like you have your phone and your credit cards all in one spot, because I have like a phone wallet, then you really need to get one of these, because anyone can walk by you and get access. Like you said, like we're talking about like AirDrop and stuff like that. And I have a new one too.
Well, and like Greg in the
better.
chat says, it's like a mini Tesla Faraday cage.
It is. And the other scary thing too is that your kids, people can get access to their photos. And so I tell my kids all the time too, they're not about to carry one of these cards because they think I'm nuts. But they can get access to your kids' pictures too and do all kinds of stuff. So it's a wild world.
I just figured I could go to the Apple store, and Joe said this, and say, hey, can you tell me if somebody's tracking my phone or got into my information? And I figured they should be able to tell you that.
Well, and at the very least, they can restore your phone back to factory settings and get rid of whatever's on there.
Really?
Yeah.
At the very least they can?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
not
would
the
just
Mirror
tell
app.
them.
But not the Mirror app, I thought you said.
Yeah, I don't know if they can. I don't know if they would be able to, because if someone has it truly mirrored, they'll then just mirror the new settings and everything that you have.
And how does one install a mirror? Just by going to your phone?
There's all of these like dark web, you guys. It's like shopping. Like you can go and the bad people, they love this stuff. There's like an Amazon.
There are groups,
Yes, there's like an Amazon for like doing illegal things and getting access to people's phone and tracking people and mirroring it. And but like I was telling you guys before we came on, the big thing now is all of these fake apps. So and that's another thing too, is that you have to be careful because your kids can have the fake apps on their phones too. But anyway, it looks just like I said, like TikTok, or it looks like a utilities or like a settings or things like that.
Yeah, they mimic icons of popular apps.
And you hide things in those apps. So I mean, there's all sorts of things. There's tracking devices. There's places where you can hide stuff. Bad people, predators, pedophiles, they hide their CSAM and
would they have
apps.
access to the cameras and stuff too? Like, would they be able to watch you live if
that I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that I don't know about the cameras.
I mean, I know that spy technology, just in general, even small cameras, it's just ridiculous.
You guys,
right now.
I don't even know if I'm allowed. Well, when we get talking about it, but the last day of when I was in Springfield, it was all stuff about that, and like I don't even know like if I'm allowed to like talk about like the details of it, but let's just say that like the things that are out there now to find bad people, the bad guys, and capture them is mind-blowing. I mean, mind-blowing.
Absolutely, cameras compromised easily, according to Robert. Todd says, when I put a credit card on my phone, I buy gift cards only like a prepaid Visa. Jamie, good morning. Great to see Megan. Of course,
good.
You can see
thanks,
with
Jamie.
quantum computers, etc., biometrics or the mark is in our immediate future. Yeah, we've seen that come on. Use a cation or cation shield that sticks on the phone for radiation, and use a Faraday cage for your phone. I use an accountant's money clip to block anything digital. I just want to make sure that my phone has not been compromised in any manner or form.
Tell you what, I once was talking to a Frontenac police officer, and he was telling
There's
me
just been some weird activity and some things.
Well, he was telling me that like
that I can't get into here.
You would be surprised what they have access to. So I mean, I can only imagine. This is Frontenac police, but I can only imagine what criminals are doing. You know?
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I
Yeah,
mean,
guys, like, subscribe,
really
share the
crazy.
show, please. Like, subscribe, share the show. Sorry, Megan.
No, that's okay. But the good thing is that law enforcement, they're up in their game, and they're staying right along with them. And good morning, Tanya, and really, really trying to stay ahead of these guys. Unfortunately, there's a lot of great people in this world, but there's a lot of awful people too. And that's really scary.
Oh my God, there's just a lot of crazy stuff coming down.
What?
Just some crazy videos that I see.
Oh. Hi, Donna. How's it going? Oh. Shoot, sorry, Joe. Oh. Hey, Vic.
Yes.
Are there any Kleenex in that Kleenex box?
Yes. Can I toss the box to you?
Yeah.
I'll do it through here. 1, 2, 3.
Thanks. Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Keep them. Chris says that's another reason I always have a cover on my computer camera. They can access a camera on almost anything. Yeah, well, I know. I just get concerned with my phone, and I feel like it's been compromised in a manner, and that I don't have complete privacy. So I got to figure that out.
Yeah, well, I told you all about those little things, and you can buy them on Amazon. I buy them in I think they come in like an 8-pack, and they're these little stickers that go on your phone camera. And so when you're not using your camera, it's there, and then you just slide it over.
No, I appreciate you and Joe. You guys have educated the hell out of me today. I just trust everybody. And I always kind of put myself out there, and it's been stupid. I'm slowly but surely getting better.
I always thought those little stickers were gimmicks, though. I didn't think that they actually work.
Yeah, they work. Yeah, are you talking about the little ones?
Yeah, the ones that stick on.
My allergies are always bad whenever I come on, but yeah, they like slide over. It's like a looks like a microfilm, and they're just tiny, and you put it on and then you can slide it over and you can go like that so that you don't have to like take off the whole thing every time. But yeah, so that like when I'm just like sitting around like this, the camera would be covered so that someone couldn't
the camera.
have access.
Yeah, these laptops have something similar, like little shutters.
Yeah.
We are at 9:01.
Yeah, I know. Hold on a second before we jump in. Tape works on the team. Tape works. I have tape on all of them. I don't know. Vic, another news reporter, left. Say Alexis Soros. Yeah, I don't know what her reasons are though. I just know that lots of people dropping like flies. You can't afford to live.
Right. Oh, Jeannie puts tape on all of her stuff. That's a good idea.
Boy, we have another big story that's developing right now as well. Wild Horse Elementary is set to hire a transgender elementary school counselor. Okay. His name is Terrence.
Okay.
Wild Horse Elementary.
Right, that's right by me.
Yeah, it's right by you, Megan.
Yep.
We did a big story on this Tuesday. Allegedly, it's going to go through, and they're asking everybody to show up at the board meeting tonight. A lot of people have been contacting me. We'll give the time to say the only way to even try to stop it is to go to the board meeting tonight. David Gregory's on it, by the way. That's his territory, Missouri State Senator. He and his chief of staff are looking into legal avenues to stop it. We'll get into that as well. Then I was just told that Stephen Miller, who we both love, what is his exact title with the Trump administration? Press secretary, or not press secretary, but
deputy
chief of staff.
Yeah, for deputy chief of staff for something in.
Yeah, I've got a news on that too, which will that revolves around this element, not specifically Wild Horse, but around what's happening. There's information that's coming out, but if you're a parent at Wild Horse and you allow this to happen, shame on you. Shame on you. That's right. I'm calling every single parent out at Wild Horse Elementary. That is so bad. We did this on Tuesday as well, Megan, at the end of the show. Do we still have pictures of Terrence?
I was looking for him.
Yeah, I want to see.
Well, I've got Megan here. I can go back and look and try to find them as well.
Yeah, because I don't know what he looks like.
All right, Joe, you can go ahead and start the show, buddy. That would have been on Tuesday. Gotcha. I'll send them to you. Hey guys, welcome to cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust and the beautiful Triple M, Megan Marie Moret. And then there's this guy, Projo. Anyway, we're ready to rock and roll today. Projo behind the scenes. He loves it. It is Thursday. It is May 1st. Happy May 1st, everybody. You know what we do? News, headlines, politics, cancel culture, education, where we are in 2025, everything Donald Trump, true patriots, the freedom of speech here. And we are grateful that you support us in every way that you do. Okay, with that being said, Elon Musk being done with Doge. Here we are, May. We'll talk about a total that's been saved already. Donald Trump getting serious about lawsuits against the media and how he has been treated. Caroline Leavitt with a 100-day look back at everything that has happened so far, which is absolutely amazing. Couple sound bites from the interview from a couple days ago with Terry Moran and ABC, and just what a dipshit he looked like. And Trump, how he just masters media, and all these people, they try to get you. They try to do the gotcha interviews, the Elliot Davis gotcha interviews. And Donald Trump is just so way above it all. Grateful to see that happening. Harvard's caving. We'll tell you what they're up to. It was only a matter of time. All these people try to act big and tough and bad and bullying. And then eventually when the money starts to run out, they go, uh-oh, that's who they answer to. Howard Lutnick gives an update on how much money has actually been invested into the United States. And we're talking about the business infrastructure because of tariffs. It'll blow your freaking mind. And then, guys, we'll end and we'll talk again about it when it comes to what's happening in the Rockwood School District at Wild Horse Elementary. I am told that it is indeed a done deal. They are hiring and have hired, unless something massive happens at their board meeting tonight, a transgender biological man acting like a woman as their elementary school counselor. Not math, not even science. Their counselor to help kids deal with issues that they deal with. I mean, it blows my freaking mind. I'm told State Senator David Gregory, friend of the show, is on this. And Stephen Miller, who we're talking about, the chief of staff for Trump's administration, is addressing schools and whether they can legally go after schools who do things like this. The timing couldn't be more appropriate. And with that, we bring in, of course, our superstar, Megan. Megan, welcome back to the show.
Hey,
Last
good
time we saw you,
morning.
you were getting ready to head out to Springfield for a week conference when it comes to trafficking.
Yeah.
I was thinking about you. Fox did a show this last week, 1 hours of, America's Most Wanted. But before that, they had America's Missing. And I thought they did, I saw the tail end of it.
Yeah.
Thought they did a pretty good job. And it just made me think
Mhm.
about you. So what's been up with you?
Oh, I love that they're doing that too. I love that they're taking the time to go back and revisit cases of missing people, especially when they do children, because I mean, for me, that is like the absolute worst nightmare is to just not know, like, especially your child, just, having them be out in the world and just not knowing what they're doing or if someone's hurting them or harming them. So I just think that that's awesome that they're doing that. But yeah, I had a fantastic week, out and did some more training. And every time that I do training, I learn so much. And they are long, long days. But I would say like my biggest takeaway from that particular week is, you know, I I of all people am, hyper aware of all of the trafficking that happens. But
Mm.
when you get all of these different law enforcement agencies and departments together in one room and you just start hearing about, their stories and what they've encountered, you really realize like, man, this
That'll
is in
tear
our
you down,
back
won't it?
door.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just like the different ways that they're, that they're exploiting these people is just absolutely mind blowing. But the biggest thing is like in places where, there's a big vacation spot in Missouri where, a lot of people go. I mean, a lot of people go, and there's a lot of money. And, when you think about it, you just think people partying, having a good time. There's, families, jet skiing and doing houseboats, and everything's great and dandy. And there's this whole other world and things that are happening literally right before your eyes. And so, just to come together and then teach these different, law enforcement agencies how to develop like a human trafficking task force to try and get the bad guys is it's just amazing. Just to watch it all happen and to see it actually take place. And then there's people too that have different, you know, uh, different positions. So, I met some forensic nurses, and you forget that you need those people do, especially if you're doing an operation where a sting operation where you're going and you're trying to find the traffickers. You have to have people there that can immediately treat a lot of these victims. So just to to talk to them too is just amazing too, because there's so many different players in this game that that we have to have. So that was cool. And then I was telling you guys too just about like all of the the surveillance and all of these different things that are, being utilized now to help find these people.
I
So
just I think about everything that you're doing right now, and obviously people give you compliments all the time. You don't do it for compliments. You do it because it's part of your heart. Do you see this issue of trafficking? Is it an issue where it's lessening?
No,
It's increasing?
no. Oh
And
my
you're talking about
gosh,
the trafficking
no.
of people for a variety of reasons throughout the United
Yes.
States.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh, you guys, no, it is not stopping. And for the reasons like we were just talking about earlier, is that traffickers are super super clever. I mean, they're master manipulators. They will do anything because it's a big money game, so they will do whatever they can to make sure that they keep complete control over their victims, and b, they can evade law enforcement. And so the ways that they're finding victims is mind-blowing, and then the way that they're evading law enforcement is also just as scary. And so no, it's not stopping. It's not ending in any way. I mean, there's so many different ways. They finally just we passed a bill that, the Take It Down Act. So, if your kid, happens to have, their face on
I mean, insane.
explicit pictures, because that's what they're doing now, is they're taking your child's face, putting on explicit pictures, and then they're trying to blackmail you, or they're trying to say, hey, if you don't do this or that, send me this or do this, then I'm going to show everyone, your family, your friends, your social media, I'm going to post these pictures. And it's the whole sextortion thing. But now what is happening is that if there is any social media or any app that these kinds of pictures are displayed, they have to take it down immediately, so that, they're not exposing these poor innocent people and children to these predators. So that was a huge, huge thing. So yeah, the Take It Down Act was a really big thing. But no, I mean, unfortunately, and like for whatever reason, I told you guys, the last time I was here, I have so many cases right now of girls in particular that I'm working with, that it's like just out of the woodworks. And so it's like trying to juggle all of this, and then trying to figure out how it's happening at the same time.
Yeah,
I
from the chat
mean,
line, you're doing a great job.
oh, well, thank you. I appreciate
Greg
that.
says, wasn't there a bus last week in the Metro East of 6 traffickers?
Yeah.
He doesn't know.
Yep. Yeah, that just happened. The Illinois State Police, they just had a sting operation, so they were able to take down 6 traffickers, several victims. And that's great, because that's the whole point of trying to educate law enforcement, is that, if you don't know how to bring your team together and execute a sting operation, you're not going to be able to find these guys. Because the problem is that victims of trafficking 90% of the time are not going to say, yes, I'm being trafficked, because they're scared to death.
Gosh, I mean, you were just blowing me away, because I told you I'm worried about my phone being compromised in a variety of ways. And you're like, Vic, these traffickers, they'll put mirror apps on these women that you're dealing with, and they block your phone number.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So as soon as we come into contact with someone, we have to take their phone, and usually they have multiple phones. And so you have to say, okay, give me the other one, and give me the other one. And they just keep reaching down in their purse or their bag, and, put them in a Faraday bag, because they're going to be found, like, immediately. But even the other crazy thing too is the tracking devices that can be put on your vehicles. Oh my gosh. And they are quick, and they are easy to put on. And
Wait a minute. So they'll put it. Well, how do they do it?
you want me to tell you? Literally,
Just
it's
walk up
this
in a parking
easy.
lot, stick it to your car, and boom. You
Yep.
don't even know. You're in Walmart.
Yeah, you could be anywhere, and it's literally.
Like, will your phone show you though?
Oh, well, no, I'm just saying that you're not for your phone, but your physical body. So like if you have a vehicle that you use regularly, they can track you so easy, and then all they have to do is look at their phone, and they can see exactly where you are. But
right.
it's, I mean, and we all
They'd have
know
to
that
be inside your car to put like one of those little Apple things inside. So this has to stick to the vehicle.
Yeah, metal. It's got to
okay.
be to the metal, or otherwise it will melt.
Okay.
But yeah, there's, and all you have to do is literally, I could do it right now. It'd take me 5 seconds, go by, take it. You use a special epoxy, like a glue that won't, just fall off, and you just walk by and you go, and you just
Mhm.
pop it right under there, and there you go.
Some of them have powerful magnets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're
So,
doing a great job. That's
well,
for
I
sure. And
appreciate that. I appreciate it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, there was so many. I'm looking at my notes from that week, like anything that was just I think too, it's so important to make sure that you point out like all of these people that they're not in it for the money either, but they're there to help, and they're there to give resources to victims after they've been identified. And there were several of those people that I met too that are just doing like an amazing job, and just like literally putting their life savings and every hour of their day towards trying to help these people.
yep.
I met a woman and her brother in particular that have started this organization, and it's just awesome. So there's, like I said, there's just a lot of players that
How can people help you again? Is there a way, or is it just kind of?
I mean, to help me in
Because I know
particular,
you've got some legislation we talked about the last time you were David
yeah,
Gregory. So
Bill 72, and that's David Gregory's bill that was the illegal alien act, and then he has now compounded the human and sex trafficking with that, so that we are trying to be able to, make a legislatively where we can educate people, where we can intervene, and we have, all of the resources that we need when law enforcement does find someone, to assist them and then to get the victim where they need to go,
mhm.
and then also make sure that there's somewhere safe for them to go. And that's the biggest issue right now, is that there's places. I had a girl that I took down. I had to take her into Clayton, into the county headquarters last week, and it took me from Friday until Tuesday to find her somewhere
Oh,
to go, just so that she could detox first, because a lot of them are, well, I would say almost all of them are drug addicted, but just to detox so that she can go into restoration. So there's just all of these multiple steps. So I wish it was easy where you could just snap your fingers and, there'd be an automatic place for these people to
but
go, and there's not.
well, thank you for the job and the work that you
Yeah,
do. We appreciate when you come in,
absolutely.
and we'll continue to
Yeah.
promote it as much as we can. That's Megan Marie Red. I'm Vic Faust, Pro Joe behind the scenes. By the way, it's National Day of Prayer today. Remember that. Say a prayer. Why not pray? Why not talk about it publicly? I do all the time. Why wouldn't you ask God for help? Literally. Why
Mhm.
wouldn't you ask God for help?
I had
Na-
somebody say something pretty profound about this. Uh, Prayers aren't just for other people. You can pray for yourself. You
Oh,
can ask for help.
absolutely.
Not only prayer for asking, but prayer of thanksgiving. And I've noticed in my own selfish life that when I'm more thankful and thanking for what I have, it seems like more comes around. And not just
Mhm.
because we're not supposed to be rich, and that's not what Jesus or the apostles, it's not about being rich. There's a different way of being graced with the graces,
Mhm.
spiritual gifts. Too many of the health, wealth, and prosperity gospel teachers be, oh, you're supposed to be rich. That's not what heaven's about. Anyway, pray to be thankful for what you have. It's easier
Mm.
said than done. Trust me, I've been in some low spots and going, wait a second, I need help. And you just got to pray. So it is National Day of Prayer. Mike Kehoe, Governor of Missouri, honoring that today. It's also the month of mental health awareness. And we got to take that very serious as well. More situations seems like they're coming out for a variety of reasons, whether it's the food we eat, the drugs we take. Just think about it, Mental Health Awareness Month. And if you know
Mhm.
somebody that needs help, help them. And I know that you deal with a lot of mental health issues, Megan, with a lot of the women who've been trafficked. A
Mhm.
lot of people aren't born with mental health issues. Uh, they're acquired through a variety of traumatic experiences. That is for sure. Mandy says, count your blessings. One thing I'm grateful for and I pray for is our administration, Donald Trump. Love The Donald. Love that he's here. Hey, he
Mhm.
came out with some strong quotes. Media's been crazy, Megan. Attacking Donald Trump, his administration, won't even report truth. But Trump's got some lawsuits out there. And I love this because you never hear the media talk about the conservatives who sue liberal news media for false stories. And then it's like, oh, okay, here we go. And here's what Trump's saying in his quotes when it comes to everything that's going on. Quote, the case we have against 60 Minutes, CBS, and Paramount is a true winner. They cheated and defrauded the American people at levels never seen before in the political arena. Kamala Harris, during early voting and immediately before Election Day, was asked a question and gave an answer that was so bad and incompetent that it would have cost her many of the votes that she ended up getting. It was a disastrous answer. 60 Minutes and its corporate parents, in order that this not have a negative impact on her, if you guys remember this story, removed and deleted Kamala's entire answer, every word of it, and replaced it with a response that she gave later on to an entirely different question. They literally were splicing, cutting and pasting, and making an answer that was not hers. The new answer was not good either, but it didn't show gross incompetence like the one that was removed by 60 Minutes. In other words, 60 Minutes perpetrated a giant, quote, fraud against the American people, the Federal Elections Commission, and the Federal Communications System. Despite all of above, the Paramount, CBS, 60 Minutes admittance to this crime, and with other similar corrupt removals of answers to questions, the failing New York Times, which is fake news both in writing and polling, claims that the people said that the case is baseless. They don't mean that. They just have a non-curable case of Trump derangement syndrome, possibly to the point where the Times interjection makes them liable for torturous interference, including in elections, which we are intently studying. The bottom line is what 60 Minutes and its corporate owners have committed is one of the most egregious illegalities in broadcast history. Nothing like this, the illegal creation of an answer for a presidential candidate, has ever been done before. They have to pay a price for it, and the Times should also be on the hook for their likely unlawful behavior. It is vital to hold these liars and fraudsters accountable. Thank you, Donald Trump. That was a huge story during the election, and they're not letting it up. They're going after them from the standpoint so this doesn't happen again. Thank you, Trump. And by the way, Kamala came out and spoke yesterday for the first time since getting crushed in the election. Did you see this?
The $25 one? The 20 where you had to pay $25 to watch her live stream?
That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one.
Yeah.
You had to watch her give a speech.
You paid $25 for a word salad.
Caroline Levitt was asked about it, and she goes, Kamala, keep on talking. And all she was doing was ripping Trump.
Yeah.
And it's like, rah, 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 she continues to fall deep down in. You know what? While we're talking about that disaster, thank you for Donald Trump going after them. Tim Walz, did you see what he said in his press conference? I think it was yesterday, not 2 days ago, but yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
I can't
was
remember.
Was it the day before yesterday?
While Joe's getting that, Paul says, Vic, the left will continue to say, by any means necessary to keep the orange man bad out of the White House. Tim Walz, they just can't. I don't think they're acting. I really think that they believe their own craziness. Listen what Tim Walz said, why he was brought on to be the vice president, nominee, at least running for vice president. Listen to what he says, like his power was going to be.
Improve people's lives. But I also was on the ticket, quite honestly, because I could code talk to white guys watching football, fixing their truck, doing that I could put them at ease. I was the permission structure to say, look, you can do this and vote for this. And you look across those swing states, with the exception of Minnesota, we didn't get enough of those votes.
Unbelievable. He is trying so hard.
Real American hero.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Mr. Tim Walz.
I mean, he is just so hot on trying to convince people that he is masculine. And I mean, it's never going to happen. Yeah. I mean, never.
I was going to say, I don't relate with that guy.
No. I mean, most people don't. I mean,
Lordy.
He was brought on to
only paying attention to him having
white
fun.
Football watching.
Code talk, baby.
I think he
Code
even deepened
talk.
his voice a little bit for that when he was
Code
saying
talk.
Guys, like I was brought on. Yeah.
Oh my
He's so
God.
silly.
Hey, the 100 days was a few days ago. We told you about the show. Trump had an amazing night in Warren, Michigan. Loved it. The only bad part of the night was Gretchen Whitmer, the Michigan governor, trying to steal some of the spotlight. She is just a weird, weird person. But here's Caroline Leavitt breaking down the 100 days when it comes to some of the things that have been done, and would love the media with this Trump administration because they're so damn transparent.
It's been 100 days of the most transparent administration in history, so we have done 100 interviews on the White House campus today.
Isn't that impressive? We've never seen anything like this. Once again, every single day, I know we say it again. This is legendary. Never seen anything like it.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like everything that he's done, is he rocking the boat? Absolutely. But all of these things that he said that he wanted to do while he was campaigning, we all knew, like, man, like it's going to take more than 4 years to really, really right our country. Like you can't do all of the things that he wants to do in 4 years. So what did he do? Day one, man, he hit the ground running, the executive orders, trying to get other countries to stop taking advantage of us, to pay their fair share, all of these things. And so, he is, he's ruffling feathers. Personally, it's like, I look right, I look left, like, what's he doing today? He's constantly doing things. And so I think that that's truly the only way that he's going to be able to make some changes that are going to stand, that are going to be able to be put in place and make the new standard for America.
I loved his interview with Terry Moran from ABC the other night. Terry Moran's an idiot. I'm sorry. David Muir couldn't do it because he had already cashed in whatever credibility he had. So they had to get in Terry Moran, and Terry Moran just, I'm sorry, what a dumb ass interview. It's not about you. These people will not stop getting out of their way. The first part was they tried to go after Trump for Pete Hegseth. And by the way, media coverage through the Media Research Alliance, they have their own network, which shows unbiased coverage of how people are covered. 100% negative to Pete Hegseth. And then Terry Moran asked Trump, this is what we have in our leader right now, putting him in his place about Pete Hegseth.
A very good defense, hopefully a great defense secretary, but he'll be a very good defense secretary.
You have 100% confidence in
I don't
Pete
have
Hegseth.
100% confidence in anything. Okay, anything. Do I have 100%? It's a stupid question. Look,
It's a pretty important position.
I have no. You don't have 100%. Only a liar would say I have 100% confidence. I don't have 100% confidence that we're going to finish.
Terry,
Oh my
learn
gosh.
your lesson.
Yeah.
Learn your lesson.
He just went at it in the wrong way, for that interview. And I love that Trump pointed out so many different times. He's like, I picked you because I didn't know who you were. So basically, thinking that maybe you would come in, maybe be a little bit more fair, but he didn't. And Trump called him out and, let him know that ABC was absolutely one of the lowest mainstream media, broadcasting services that has ever been around. And so I thought it was great. And he's not a politician. So that's the thing, like what he just said. He's like, I'm not going to lie. Like anybody that said that they had 100% confidence in someone, they'd be lying. But see, they're not used to that. They're used to the politicians. They're used to the Joe Biden sitting up there and being like what he said about, Kamala Harris. We are 100% united. We are the same, songs, and we're harmonizing. And it just, the lies.
Chat line says they threw that guy to the wolf. Bad move, ABC. And then here's another clip. It just, the guy is our country. Are we in a worse reputation standpoint? Literally, Trump just abuses him here. And of course, a kind way.
The reputation of the United States has gone down under your presidency?
No, I think it's gone way up, and I think we're a respected country again. We were laughed at all over the world. We had a president that couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, couldn't walk down a flight of stairs, couldn't walk across the stage without falling. We had a president that was grossly incompetent. You knew it, I knew it, and everybody knew it, but you guys didn't want to write it because you're fake news.
All right. Thank you.
And by the way, ABC is one of the worst, I have to be honest with you.
There you have it.
Terry Moran's not very good.
He speaks the truth, whether you like it or not, I mean, that's for sure. And we're talking about all of the changes in the first 100 days of Trump's administration. And, what is really, I can't believe that the left is still hung up on the things that they're hung up on. We have got some major, major things happening in our world, and they are still hung up on, oh gosh, he's going to make it illegal. I mean, I'm still hearing he's going to make it illegal for the LGBT, couples to get married and to, adopt children. And we're still hung up on this trans stuff being jammed down our kids' throats. The gender mutilation being jammed down our throats. And we're still having the conversation about allowing men into women and girls, restrooms, safe places, locker rooms. What is wrong with people?
Yeah,
I mean, we're still having these conversations.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even want to talk about it anymore to anyone. Like I used to be like open, like
that's a change.
Yes. Like, tell me why you think that this is okay. Like maybe I'm missing something. Maybe
because I think people, if Trump's for it, even if they have the slightest idea that it may not be a good thing that they're supporting, they're still going to support it. Trump is against this. Oh, then I'm for it.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then we see that Chatline said they loved seeing Trump at the table yesterday. I mean, Marco Rubio yesterday was freaking phenomenal. Explaining what happens with judges not being local judges will never overrule the president. Sorry. And then JD Vance, gosh, he's got a spine at being a vice president. Damn, is he good. He literally came out and said this yesterday to the media, to their face. And this is what we deal with on a daily basis when it comes to the media.
Why is it that the press is so focused on the fake BS rather than what's really going on in the country?
Like I think
that what we've shown, sir, is that you can do a lot. You can do a lot in 100 days, but you've also unfortunately revealed that too much of the American media hasn't learned the lessons of the past 40 years. Nope,
they haven't. And that's why they're getting crushed. And that's why there's no Democratic Party, because we already know that the media is an extension of the Democratic Party. They are. I've told you that so many times. I've seen it. It hasn't changed. I was in it. I saw what they did and saw what they do. Focus on the positive, but they don't want to focus on the positive because that means giving Donald Trump credit.
That's right.
And we can't do that.
Or the truth. It's just the truth.
From the chat line, China's slowly bending on the tariffs. 100% they are bending on the tariffs. Speaking of tariffs, could I pop up? I'm just jumping off a little bit. Howard Lutnick. I just threw this in this morning, Megan. Howard Lutnick and the job he's doing for the Trump administration as well. Outstanding. You want to talk about what's happening with tariffs and why tariffs are working despite what media tries to tell you. Oh, and by the way, on Tuesday, remember Amazon came out of the gates. Oh, we're going to put the increased prices you have to pay on goods because of tariffs. Guess what? One phone call from Trump to Jeff Bezos. Guess what happened? Ended. It was done. It was done within a couple hours. That's because he's a leader. He's got a spine. He has respect. And somebody within that organization tried to do that without Jeff Bezos knowing. Guarantee it. Yeah. There was no way Jeff Bezos and his wife were allowed to be at inauguration and not be friends with Trump and then that go down. So Amazon stopped that because Donald Trump made a call. And then look at what the tariffs are doing to help this country right now.
Technology companies have committed over $2.5 trillion to build in America based on your tariffs, right? Sovereign countries all backing, the whole Middle East and all these countries backing their sovereign wealth funds. They all want to invest in America, and they're coming in, again, over $3 trillion committed. So just those two topics, you're at $5.5 trillion. And then you've got The whole pharma industry knows it's got to come home because America pays for all the drugs of the world. So the technology.
$2.5 trillion of investment coming into the United States because of tariffs put on countries around the world. If that's not getting things done, I don't know what is. That should get people damn excited. It's not going to happen today or tomorrow, but are you kidding me? When's the last time we had investment like that in the United States?
Never.
Ever?
Yeah.
Ever?
I can't wait to have no federal taxes.
When's that happening? Have we got an announcement on that?
No, I'm just saying that's been.
When do we
the
get
talk.
that?
Let's just like the Epstein files,
$2.5 trillion.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's got to be slow and steady. I mean, you're not, I think that's what people are up in arms about is they're expecting, the first 100 days, you hear all of these pundits and even people in Congress going, well, he promised the American people that he was going to lower this and he was going to lower that and he was going to put money back in their pockets and everything. Well, if you're, have half of a brain, you're going to realize and understand that does not happen overnight. It's not sustainable. So he's doing things in a very, very, planned way, and that's just the way that it has to happen. And so I just wish that people, would just give it a minute. People were, all that they had there for a couple of weeks was eggs, the price of eggs. And I'm like, come on, just take a look around and see what else is going on. And
slowly but surely things are getting better in every sense. And heck, when we're talking about that, by the way, Lutnick's the Secretary of Commerce. Then you have Elon. His time's going to end by January 1st. You look at their Doge total, up to $160 billion of waste, fraud, abuse, and unlawful, crazy money going out of our country has been saved. $160 billion in 100 days. $160 billion in 100 days. It might be one of the most remarkable feats in American history. It may be what they have done.
Yeah.
$160 billion saved in 100 days.
It's unbelievable.
From Elon. Yeah. I don't know if Elon, I hope he sticks around. I enjoy watching his quirkiness.
I do too.
He always seems happy. I think I'd be happy if I was the richest man in the world too.
Yeah.
Here's Elon being Elon yesterday too. I love that he was at the table with everybody with not one but two hats on.
And I love the double hat, but he's the only one that can do that. Get away with it.
Well, Mr. President, they say I wear a lot of hats. It's true. Even my hat has a hat.
That's pretty funny.
He's just so genuine, he really is. He's like a big kid, with a genius mind.
Oh my God. It's crazy watching how intelligent that man is.
It is. But you know what? I have to say, I love that we are going in and we are basically rearranging and putting new management into all of these different, all of these federal funds. And I think it's important for people to know that it's not that the money is going to disappear. It's not, me for one, there's this, I've had so many phone calls this week talking about the Crime Victims Act and the money being taken away, or crime victims funds and the CASA and all of these things. And it's not that the money is not there. What they're doing is they're making sure that it's being allocated appropriately. That's what Doge is about. Now, some of it, they are going to stop the funding. When you're trying to do, Queer Sesame Street in Iran or Iraq, or, all of these other things that makes zero sense for America to have to pay for. But just to make sure that the money is going to the right places is so super important, because there are a lot of people that need help. Yeah. And I just wish that people would understand that it's not that it's going away. It's that money's being put in the appropriate hands so that it can go where it needs to go. Does anybody wonder why members of Congress are millionaires? Millions upon millions upon millions, when their salary is supposed to be, $350K, and they're millionaires. Explain that. It doesn't make sense. So, but I do want him to take a break. I feel like this poor guy has been, and he knew what he was getting into, but I would like to see him go back to doing his amazing things. Just
No, I'm selfish. I want him around.
well, he is funny. He is entertaining.
Not just
but
that. Look at the good he has produced.
He is. Well, I think he's still going to have his guys and girls that he, has working under him. But I think that he needs to get out of the spotlight for a while. I think that
He's been out of the spotlight this last month.
Well, but the Dems, they just cannot leave the man alone, no matter what he does.
They're going back to Trump now. And
Mhm.
I mean, it's kind of all over the place. It is interesting. With everything. I mean, by the way, Harvard caved.
Mhm.
Harvard, or they're caving. Loved it. All Donald Trump wanted them to do was make the campus completely safe for Jewish students and get rid of the DEI if you're going to take federal funding dollars, $2 billion a year, whatever it is. And we'll see where it goes. Here's CNN talking about it.
I think as a political matter, if you went out and argued that to the American people right now and said, well, we're just not going to make it as a country unless we give $9 billion to Harvard that's sitting on $53 billion, you'd get your ass kicked, I imagine, in a political campaign. Now, don't misunderstand. I wish Harvard would actually work something out here. I do agree that these universities are important. They do important work. But I don't agree that we need to continue to fund people who won't listen to us when we say, you have problems. I would argue that it's a national security problem that these Ivy League colleges are turning out people who fundamentally hate Western civilization. The average American probably looks at this and says they're sitting on a $53 billion endowment. Right. They want another $2 to $9 billion. And at the same time, they keep turning out a bunch of professors and students who appear to be schooled in one thing only, the downfall of Western civilization. Why are we financing this? Is all about goes right back to the issue of what these colleges allowed to happen on their campus, both in terms of admissions and in terms of the way Jewish students were treated. He also said Harvard should apologize, and I agree. They ought to apologize to these Jewish kids that got terrorized after October the 7th, and they ought to apologize to the Asian students that were discriminated against.
Harvard.
Yeah, exactly.
These are the
Asian students that were discriminated against in regards to being allowed into school. That's where it was.
These are the hypocritical topics that I cannot believe that we are even discussing. You know, you've got these liberals that all they do is they talk about these billionaires and it's Donald Trump and his billionaire friends, and they're trying to take our money and they've got their hands in our pockets and billionaire this and billionaire that and the oligarchies and all of these other things. Yet you're going to try and stand with these universities that have the major endowments. I mean, major money sitting in the bank, yet they're still giving federally, they're getting $9 million from us as a country, for them to allow the behavior, the disgusting anti-American, anti-human, anti-Jewish, anti-Asian, whatever they can protest, they will. And you're going to stand behind this and we're going to sit here and have conversations about it.
Yeah.
I mean, the math ain't mathin'.
No, it's not.
I mean, I just cannot even believe it. The behavior coming from these students is disgraceful.
Yeah, and it hasn't gotten any better. Connie says, I just love that guy talking about Scott Jennings. Balls and brilliance. That's right, baby.
Yes.
Robert says, and tax-free as well, talking about Harvard. Anyway, the Trump administration is doing everything right. We see it. And this is interesting to me because it's not very often, Megan, that we see George Soros speak or come out. Donald Trump and his administration must be shaking things up in such a way and in such a good way for America and eliminating the threats around the world that George Soros felt the need to go speak about Donald Trump publicly. When's the last time we saw this? We don't. That makes me think he's pissed. Donald Trump's cleaning up the mess. And Soros feels like he has to go talk about Donald Trump publicly.
President Trump is a con man and the ultimate narcissist who wants the world to revolve around him. When his fantasy of becoming president came true, his narcissism developed a pathological dimension.
Yeah. Okay. I think we know where the narcissism man is. It's the man who was just talking. Anything and everything they can throw at him, anything and everything they can try to throw at him
Unbelievable.
and create a false narrative to try to get people not to remember Donald Trump.
That man, that 90 something year old man, which I cannot even believe that we're still giving him any kind of, credibility for anything, is the epitome of narcissism. I mean, the epitome of it. And he's going to go on there. I mean, if the pot's not calling the kettle black on this,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
and also he's like, when the fantasy of him becoming president became true, well, then it's not a fantasy. It's a reality, buddy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he is. He's just a fumbling idiot. He's what he stands for. And I wish everybody, and I'm not going to get into it now, but the things that this man has stood for is absolutely sick. And for him to even have a platform is grosser. He's a bad, bad man.
Oh, it is. It is. It is. It's a bad, bad situation that's going on. Other news, by the way, this kind of swept through the news. So this morning, Hunter Biden, by the way, dropped his lawsuit against the IRS. Whistleblowers are now saying that is so telling because when it was a big media story, I'm going to sue them. Oh, yeah. Really? Now he drops it, meaning that everything that has gone against him when it comes to finances and lying, why would he drop it? You know why? Because he has no case. And I think some things are being done behind the closed doors. Whistleblowers say he's a liar, and it kind of shows it again. Just another black eye. Just another black eye on Joe Biden. Kamala Harris trying to come up and talk. They don't have anybody. The Democratic Party doesn't. And everybody's trying to take their shots and throw their little weak-ass Nerf darts at Donald Trump's feet and ankles. And he's like, okay, I'm going to kick that off.
Yeah.
Get that stuff out of here. We don't need that up there. Are you kidding me? It's all craziness that's going on. Good news happening all over the place. And we're grateful for it. That is for sure. There is one thing that's interesting. They're trying to pass the SAVE Act as well. It passed the House of Representatives, trying to pass the Senate because of all these freaking filibusters. And the filibuster has never been even constitutional if you do the studying on it. Marjorie Taylor Greene put out a really interesting tweet this morning, too, when it comes to what's happening and that there's a way to do this right now. And this is so serious. She says, if Republicans are serious about saving America, we should get rid of the 60-vote rule in the Senate and immediately call for a census counting only American citizens and then redraw House district lines based on a population count of American citizens, only requiring proof of U.S. citizenship to vote. You got to have proof. She says it would end the uniparty control and put the power back in the people's hands, the American people. It's why it won't happen. I wish that it could. Boy, that would be great. And I don't like to talk about a lot of hypotheticals, but that one got me today. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Damn, that makes sense. So much sense.
Well, and wasn't Hakeem Jeffries the last one to just do the filibuster for what was it, 12 or 14 hours while he just mumbled and jumbled and everything. But when you're doing something like that, you're basically just coming out and saying I'm going to try and make this really hard. And I'm going to try and manipulate the whole way of doing business. And I just think it's ridiculous. And especially if you know that what you're talking about is not going to be the majority. I mean, if and that's why he does it. But I mean, that what you're talking about, it doesn't have any kind of precedent. It just doesn't. And so, was it Cory Booker? Was it Cory or
Cory
Hakeem?
Booker.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I'm trying to remember now.
They look this. I hate to say it, but they kind of look the same to me. Hakeem's a little scarier looking, but was okay? Yeah. So anyway, yeah. I think that the whole thing is just absolutely ridiculous. It's a waste of time, and I completely agree with MTG on that one.
Yeah, it's just bizarre. Cory Booker. It was Cory Booker. Thank you, chat line, for letting us know that. You were also talking about something when it comes to why are we still talking about some of these issues. We talked about it on Tuesday, not going to do a lot with it. Just wanting Booker did for 35 hours. Okay. Congratulations, or 25. You're very cool. Just to throw it out there for what it's worth. If there's anything else we should hit or cover before we get out of here today, let us know. There is a meeting tonight for Rockwood School District in the St. Louis area. And if you're listening in another part of the country, why is it important? Well, and it's interesting because you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. They thought it was good to hire a transgender biological man to be the school counselor for the elementary school kids. A man who dresses as a woman, married to another man. There's Terrence. That's Terrence. And Terrence, I'm told by people within the district, is going to be their new elementary school counselor. And there's nothing that can be done. The best thing or best point of view is to go and make so much noise tonight at their meeting in regards to a legal way of how it's allowed from a legal standpoint, a legal protest to try to stop the board from doing this. It's bizarre to me. I can't believe a story has not yet been done on any other news stations or networks. But as we're told, you can't discriminate. Somebody told me you can't discriminate against who you hire. Fine. If that's who the district wants to hire, it shows you a lot about what's happening at Wild Horse Elementary, and that's a school you don't want your kids in.
Yeah.
You do not want your kids to go to Wild Horse Elementary if that's what they're going to say is good for the kids.
Well, and Vic, I'm not hearing you say that you have any problem with, this person choosing to, dress like a woman and act like a woman. And that's not the point. And I wish people would hear the point that people are trying to make. The concerned parents, the concerned people in the community. It has nothing to do with the fact that this man wants to live his life dressed like a woman. It's not that. It's and you can love these people and have relationships with these people, but there are certain people for certain positions for certain jobs. I couldn't walk in and say, you know what, I love medicine and I think you need to hire me for your next brain surgeon. It doesn't work like that. There's just certain people for certain positions, and sometimes you just have to be willing to say no. It's not good. It's not who we want to help, give counseling to children who, especially this age in grade school. They're all over the board, these kids. They don't know what they're doing from one day to the next, And so I think that the concern is coming from, is someone that is suffering from a dysphoria. Is that going to be the person that needs to be telling my child how to handle what they're struggling with? That's just where it's at. And that's just the truth. So, what if, because right now, especially in liberal schools, they really are trying to repeatedly, for whatever reason, talk about gender, sexuality issues, all of these things, which for me, I will say it loud until the day I die. There is no reason on the face of this earth that any adult needs to talk about a child, especially a grade school child, about any of these issues.
Exactly.
It's not appropriate. It's absolutely not appropriate.
Have private schools ever had this issue?
I'm sure.
Well, yeah, they
I'm
do,
sure,
but
Joe.
not as much because they get handled, quicker, But and there's always going to be issues, but I have a problem with adults thinking that it's okay. I think that there's something else going on behind those adults, their closed doors, that if you want and think it's okay, I think that you've got a sinister something if you're desiring to do that. And so I just don't think that if a child is having an issue that they need to go to somebody that might say, you know what, it's okay. Lucy, if you want to be Luke tomorrow, I'll help you. And you know what, Luke? Maybe we won't tell your parents.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at in this crazy, crazy world. None of it makes sense to me. And again, I don't want to hear people saying that they're, that it's transphobic or any kind of phobia or anything like that. It has nothing to do with that. Just, see it for what it is what I want people to do.
So there is a meeting tonight that's going on with that. We've been told also that Missouri State Senator David Gregory is going to be looking into this from a legal standpoint, if there's a way to stop them. The meeting tonight, by the way, is at 7 p.m. So it's at 7 p.m. at Rockwood School District, where they are allegedly going to pass Terrence in as the counselor, the transgender counselor. So when it comes to David Gregory, he and his chief of staff are looking into legal avenues. Said he's going to coordinate all of that with Ben Keithley. Representative Holly Jones has already signed it as well. The people who have been giving me stories says the best way to fight this is to show up at the meeting in large numbers and have good speakers articulate.
Yeah.
Good speakers articulate concerns that make sense.
But here's the problem, Vic, is so many people are afraid to do that because of
Most
the name calling.
These people wouldn't even give me their names to come on the show.
Mhm.
They had over 100, maybe 150 signatures against this, but none of these people would come on and do even interviews like, oh, we don't want to do this. And, we just want to sit back. And part of me gets frustrated. Part of me understands. I know about the name calling and.
Yeah, but look at the liberals. They I mean, talk about name calling. I mean, their mouths I'm not going to say all of them, but have just gone completely in the toilet. I mean, all they do is name call, slander people. They say whatever they feel at any time, 24 hours a day, and we're not allowed to stand up for anything. Because if we do, we're some kind of, racist or fascist or homophobe or whatever, all of the names. I mean, the list goes on. And I think that's really going to keep people from showing up and saying what their heart wants to say.
Well, hopefully people do. Also, I was told this morning that Stephen Miller with the Trump administration, he is the secretary, the chief secretary of staff, allegedly was making an announcement this morning. I don't know if it has happened already. It would be almost 11 o'clock where he is on the East Coast, but allegedly making an announcement that they're going to be introducing the trans people into elementary schools, like this situation in Rockwood, would be considered child abuse and prosecuted accordingly. That Donald Trump and his administration would be, and that's the only way you're going to stop this. That the administration would be introducing trans people in elementary schools to be considered as a child abuse charge and prosecuted accordingly.
Yeah. Well, and at the very basis of what Stephen Miller in particular is talking about is protecting our children. So you've got both sides saying that they want to protect children.
Correct.
But the ways in which we want to protect children are completely opposite, of how the left wants to protect our children. And like I said earlier, I mean, I try with all of my will to try and just for 1 second, just try to understand where in their mind they think that it's protecting a child when you lie to them and you let them,
good point,
go on with their delusions. I mean, that is not healthy. That is not teaching a child for when they become an adult how to cope, how to live in the real world, how to how to take things for what they really are by just affirming delusions. That's not healthy. It's not love. I can tell you that right now. People, oh, I love my kid and I love these kids and I love the kids I teach and I love this, I love that. When you lie blatantly to anyone, that is not love. It's quite the opposite. So, I don't understand how, you say that you're protecting a child by affirming something that is not going to help them in any way, shape, or form. It's not.
Well, Stephen Miller spoke about this too already. It's part of what I was just talking about, what was going on this morning. Here's Stephen Miller talking and pretty much scorching parents and doctors for trying to get kids to go through this gender operation surgery.
This administration ended the Biden administration's policy and the Democrat Party's policy of allowing men into women's sports, men into women's spaces. We are using every single legal and financial tool we have at President Trump's direction to make it clear that schools and universities are and will lose federal funds, as you've seen in Maine, if you allow men to invade women's sports and women's spaces. And this applies to our whole K through 12 system. The Department of Justice is also coordinating with state and local law enforcement to fight child abuse in our school systems. It is child abuse to change a child's gender, particularly if you do not inform the parents. In other words, if a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old goes to school, or a 7-year-old goes to school, and the teacher tries to turn the boy into a girl or the girl into a boy, that is child abuse. And this administration is treating that as child abuse. And it is a gross violation of parental rights. This also includes the administration's message to our hospital systems that they cannot and will not be allowed to use taxpayer dollars to perform chemical castrations and sexual mutilations of children. Castration surgeries, castration drugs, sterilization treatments of children are barbaric. They violate all sound medical ethics. They are completely unwarranted. They harm children for life irreversibly. It is child torture. It is child abuse. It is medical malpractice. And so the Department of Health and Human Services, under the leadership of Bobby Kennedy, as well as the Department of Justice and other departments of this government, are making clear to our medical providers and our hospital systems that you cannot use taxpayer dollars to perform these barbaric procedures on America's children. And HHS has systematically eliminated all of the junk, fake science that was produced under the Biden administration promoting sex changes on children, promoting the idea of sterilizing children. That's been cleaned out, that's been removed, and new guidance is being issued to doctors and hospitals advising them that they cannot perform these horrifying procedures, these irreversible procedures on our nation's children.
There you go.
And yeah, I literally just get sick to my stomach whenever I hear them talk about the sex changes on children. I'm really, I stand behind any adult that wants to make that decision. I really do. I mean, if you have made it to the point where you are now an adult and your brain is fully formed and you still feel like you want to remove your body parts to become, something else, I that's fine. But to think of children, innocent children, that are not capable of making adult decisions. They're just not. The brains are not equipped to do it. There's reasons why, you have to be a certain age to smoke, to drink, to drive, to vote. The list goes on and on. It just makes me sick just to think that there are adults in this world that are going along with this. It's awful. I mean, it really is. And again, like I said, I wonder what their motives are. I really, really do, because in my eyes, there's nothing wrong with hearing a child say that they're having issues. That's normal. Every child has issues, and every adult has issues for that matter. But to say, yeah, we're going to go ahead and let you make a decision that your brain's not capable of making, that's going to alter and change and define the rest of your life. It's not fair. And I do. I think that it is abuse. I really do. And I don't think that you're doing them any favors by hopping on that wagon with them. I really don't. I don't understand why it's so hard for someone to say, look, I understand what you're going through, but you know what? You are a beautiful boy or you're a beautiful girl. And that is a fact and that is the truth, but let's try to work through what's making you feel this way.
News just coming out, Mike Waltz, and we'll continue to follow that story coming up on Monday, what happened at the board meeting tonight. Mike Waltz is out as the national security advisor. Not sure what happened there or what was going on, but we'll see that coming up.
Apparently a video.
Okay. There's a video. We'll have to check into that at some point in time. Also, we want to thank Wendy's in the Chesterfield Valley for supporting us as always. Work hard, play hard, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. See what they got. Went and watched the wings at Wendy's last night. Always a great time. Thank you, Ben. Also, Capriati's. We talk about some of the best sandwiches. The Philly cheesesteak. I told you it's amazing. Also, when it comes to the Wagyu beef, the fresh roasted turkeys, the Bobby sandwich, literally voted the #1 sandwich in America a few different years. It's one of the best turkey sandwiches you could ever imagine. It really is. It's mouth-watering. And of course, they're flat fries. That's right. They're flat, fat fries are really different and unique. Love them. Check them out. They're catering second to none. Open 9 to 9. Tell Jonathan you appreciate them advertising on Cancel This. They are in Rock Hill, just right off of Manchester Road in the big shopping center right there. Also, it's grilling season. Don't grill unless you're using natural charcoal. Charcoal is amazing. I love using charcoal. I really do. And if you're going to use real charcoal, use the best. It is Rockwood charcoal. You can get it pretty much at any grocery store around the St. Louis metropolitan area. And if you're out of the St. Louis area, get it from Ace Hardware. That's the best way to get it. Once you try it, you'll like it. You'll see and you know it's real because you take a piece and you break it apart in your hand and it disintegrates. That's how you know it's all natural. If you can't do that, you've got fillers in there, all kinds of bad stuff, and you don't want to burn that on your food, of course. Real estate is picking back up if you didn't know it. Believe it or not, get your plan in place. Give Megan a call. Megan Livingstone, 314-249-1708. That's 314-249-1708. The email is megan@experience-re.com. megan@experience-re.com. Get your plan in place. She's helping people. Had a closing yesterday. Has one coming up in a couple days. The people are buying. They're starting to buy. It's not where it will be when the rates go down, but you want to be planning for it to make sure you're all set, to make sure you have no issues from that standpoint. Also, we talked about cybersecurity. AllianceTech.com/cancel this. AllianceTech.com/cancel this. Brian and his team will give you a cybersecurity assessment. This is for your personal computer or your phone or your business. Literally check them out. They'll give you a discount. They do a phenomenal job. They take care of our computers here. They will also, if you're worried, I was talking about earlier, I think my phone has been somehow compromised. They'll take care of your phones. Call them, ask them. They're very, very helpful. They have an intelligent team. They did the entire IT on Ben's brand new classroom library warehouse, which is phenomenal. Phenomenal job. They know what they're doing. AllianceTech.com/cancel this. And I talk about it all the time. If you're going to get Botox, you can go to a bunch of places. If you want to learn the best creams for your face, if there are any, if you want some truth, check out Tasha over at Aesthetica Med Spa. Aesthetica Med Spa, they're at it's Winghaven Boulevard and 40. Literally, you can see the back of the building if you pass the Winghaven Boulevard exit. Check them out, Aesthetica Med Spa. We appreciate them. They take care of my face. They help me look and age gracefully.
Yes, indeed.
Where we need it. We appreciate all of our advertisers. And if you want to donate anything, you can always do that at our website, canceltheshow.com. Megan, it was great to see you again today.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming in. It's always better with Megan.
Aw.
So what's up for you? What's coming up? Do you have anything that you know of that you have planned?
Well, I live in the Rockwood School District. So actually what I'm thinking about right now is that I would love to go to that board meeting tonight. My kids don't go to Rockwood, but I would really like to be there just to kind of see what happens. But we have a lacrosse game.
So
and
I would be
I'm
there.
the scorekeeper.
I would be there broadcasting live, but guess what?
Yeah.
We have a lacrosse game.
You do. Who are you playing tonight?
CBC.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
What time's your game? 7?
No, it is 6:00.
Okay. Yeah. Ours is at 7, right at that time.
Yep.
So
Same old.
I would
get
love
it.
to hear what happens. And I
Abe
really
says,
can't
great
wait.
to see you, Megan.
Hey, Abe.
People love the work that you're doing. Of course, we're grateful when you come into the studio as well.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
If anybody does go to that, send us at producer@cancelthisshow.com any video or any audio that you
I
can
have
get.
a guy that's going to be doing that as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, he'll be sending me that.
Awesome.
Tanya says, Megan, great seeing you on the podcast
Hey,
here today.
Tanya.
Great
Thanks.
podcast. We appreciate it, Tanya. Thank you so much. So for Pro Joe and Megan Marie Red, I'm Vic Faust. That does it for the fastest hour of news talk right here on the podcast. We got it, guys. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day. Happy May 1st, National Day of Prayer. Take a moment to thank God for what you have and ask him for what you would like. We'll go from there. Thanks, guys. Have an awesome day.
Bye.
folks. Today's a big conversation. I'm your host, Dr. Eric Caputh.